Professional mixed martial arts is the pinnacle of fighting, but it's not the pinnacle of unmixed martial arts. For that, we have the Olympics. And before the 2024 Games in Paris kick off this July, Total Combat went through the 6 types of unarmed Olympic combat. In the Games today are Taekwondo, the gentle way of Judo, amateur boxing, and both Greco-Roman and freestyle wrestling. For prosperity, we also included karate, which was karate chopped out of the Games after just one showing in 2020. That left us thinking. MMA is made up of more disciplines than this select few. So is there another martial art that could find its way into future Olympics? For starters, you can bet it won't be slap fighting. 2 people standing face to face across a table. Slapping one another without defending themselves is not combat. Sure, they're biting down on mouthguards, but who cares? What makes it better than shin kicking, where competitors can stuff hay down their pants for protection? In fact, shin kicking is a better form of combat than slap fighting, because at least shin kickers can try to not get kicked. Slap fighting is stupid. 2 serious forms of combat though. Sambo doesn't stand much chance of inclusion either. While it's arguably the closest amateur sport to professional MMA there is, it's almost exclusively practiced in and around Russia. That's not great for the Olympics' global reputation. That's also why we won't see Japan's sumo bound for the Games anytime soon. And Brazil's capoeira won't make the cut for the same reason. Speaking of cuts though, bare knuckle boxing doesn't stand a chance of Olympic inclusion, purely due to the amount of blood that pours from competitors in almost every single bout. It's not a good, wholesome look for the IOC. On the topic of faces, the Burmese striking sport known as lethwei doesn't stand a chance of inclusion because A, you rarely see it outside of Burma, and B, it allows headbutting. That's a hard sell, even for most casual fans of combat, let alone fans of the Games. Lethwei might lead us to a striking sport that's ripe for Olympic inclusion. While it looks like kickboxing, it's not. It's Muay Thai. At the moment, Taekwondo is already part of the Games, and it's a sport that allows striking with both your feet and hands. Karate employs a very similar rule set, which could be why it was dropped. So would the IOC vote in kickboxing, with its competitors also restricted to using only their feet and hands, if Taekwondo is already there? Then again, why do you need kickboxing if you can have Muay Thai? Of all the striking sports, the most effective in MMA has always been the national sport of Thailand. It has the punches of boxing and the kicks of Taekwondo and karate, but it doesn't stop there. They call Muay Thai the art of 8 limbs, because as well as your 2 hands and 2 feet, fighters can strike with their 2 knees and 2 elbows as well. This makes it the ideal striking discipline for MMA. Like Sambo and Sumo, Muay Thai is strongly associated with its country of origin. But unlike those, Muay Thai has been embraced by the global combat community. The premier competition in the world is run by the Singapore-based One Championship. And amongst their title holders are Alicia Helen Rodriguez from Brazil, Regian the Immortal Earsall from Suriname, Jonathan the General Haggerty from England, and Roman Kariklia from the Ukraine. While Thailand still remains the dominant country in the sport, especially in the smaller weight categories, it's clearly a discipline being embraced around the world. The problem with Muay Thai is that it's pretty brutal. Olympic boxing and Taekwondo can have knockouts, but they're nothing compared to some of the knockouts that Muay Thai can produce. So maybe it's not a striking discipline we should be looking out for. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, first developed in 1925 by the Gracie family, is a grappling technique that's taken the world by storm. That's in no small part thanks to professional MMA. In 1993, the Gracie family helped form the UFC, and Royce Gracie won UFC 1, 2 and 4, which were all one-night elimination tournaments. Basically, the Gracies started the UFC and had Royce beat 10 men in just 3 nights to prove a point. BJJ revolves around a concept that a smaller, weaker person can successfully defend themselves against a bigger, stronger, heavier opponent through the use of leverage and weight distribution. Without throwing a punch or kick, a person with all the physical size disadvantages can get the advantage by taking the fight to the ground. There, they can use a number of holds and submissions to get a win. Similar to a wrestling pinfall, a BJJ bout can be ended with one move, usually a choke or a joint lock. Also similar to wrestling, bouts can be won through an accumulation of points for things like takedowns, guard passes, and positioning. While BJJ is without doubt a truly global sport today, more popular than wrestling by orders of magnitude, its effectiveness in professional MMA is what it's known for. From the lightweight phenom Charles Oliveira to the prodigy BJ Penn to the welterweight weapon Kamaru Usman, a BJJ black belt is a beast on the mat. But as proven by other BJJ black belts, like the multi-weight juggernaut Alex Pereira and the middleweight goat Anderson Silva, a black belt in BJJ also means that you can strike more effectively because people don't want to go to the mat with you. So why not include BJJ in the Olympics? Probably for the same reasons why wrestling almost got the flick from the Games. For the majority of Olympic viewers, BJJ may look like two individuals in a tight embrace on the ground. It doesn't even have the massive slams of wrestling, so perhaps it's not as viewer-friendly. And if wrestling was almost on the way out, BJJ might not get a look in. Perhaps the more modern sport of submission grappling would fit the bill. As seen regularly in the one cage, submission grappling is sort of a hybrid between every grappling discipline you can think of, but with one major difference. The submission-only format means an athlete can only win via tap-out, verbal tap-out, or referee stoppage due to imminent danger. It's basically MMA but without striking or scoring, so it's incredibly effective. The one distinction, though, also poses the biggest hurdle for the sport getting into the Olympics. The lack of scoring can result in a lot of drawn bouts, and it's hard to award medals when no one wins. So after all that, maybe there isn't a combat sport destined for future Olympics. In fact, with karate gone, wrestling on the edge, and amateur boxing in a constant state of jeopardy, perhaps the modern Olympics have moved on from the purest forms of sport on the planet. Or perhaps they'll give them all away and just include mixed martial arts.
Thanks for watching, and remember, if you want more fight sports in your life, just hit the subscribe button.